The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Shashina Rolla. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Reverend Frederick McAlpine, meeting in a town hall forum with constituents over the weekend. This coming days after he, while in Parliament, expressed concern about the government's decision to render assistance to students of storm-ravaged Dominica. His position on that country was one of many issues discussed during that meeting. Italia Hall was there.
When it comes to Frederick McAlpine, in this order: God, country, party.
Residents of Grand Bahama filed into the Foster B. Pesena Center for the town meeting. The meeting began with a prayer.
We pray, O God, that the spirit of
Then the Member of Parliament, Frederick McAlpine, letting constituents know that he will be the voice of Pine Ridge and will try to remove the negative stigma some have attached to that constituency.
I am not about paying your personal mortgage. I am not about trying to build you a house. I am, however, about speaking on your behalf.
The Member of Parliament then expressing his disappointment in some residents in Pine Ridge. He says that he has learned that some $600,000 was spent on vouchers for residents to repair their homes in Pine Ridge before the general election.
Everybody didn't get. Some may not have even gotten the stuff because the vouchers was hold. But the list I'm holding is telling me that these people have already received. And some of these people WhatsApping me and texting me and calling me about their roof and don't even know I got the figures of how much money was already spent on you.
The MP has been in the spotlight recently for his comments on Dominica in the House of Assembly. He says he was not insinuating that the government should not help the people of Dominica. He says he believes that the government should provide financial assistance or allow unemployed men to assist the country with their rebuilding efforts.
I was not insulting the Prime Minister. I was representing the views of Pine Ridge and the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Whatever we could do to help the people of Dominica, let's do it in Christian love and charity. But let's not do it when I know my people roof leaking, my people can't get their turn in school, people don't know where the next meal coming from. My responsibility is you. And if I am guilty for looking out for you, so be it.
Residents were then given an opportunity to voice their concerns.
We've been here almost 4 months past, and nothing is happening to the people of Grand Bahama. People of Grand Bahama is hurting. Okay? We need to know what's going to happen for Grand Bahama.
We can no longer wait to say, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. People are losing their homes left, right, and center.
You're missing a receipt. You could end up with a $200 fine from customs. I could say to you this morning for facts that there are small businesses tomorrow will be shutting their doors because of the difficulty and the complication that Bahamas Customs along with Ministry of Finance is now doing in the community of Grand Bahama. What works for Nassau doesn't work for Freeport.
Now the Member of Parliament says going forward, there will be individual meetings for the various communities that make up the Pine Ridge constituency. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Italia Hall.
Now, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and a delegation visited Dominica today. That team included the president of the Bahamas Christian Council and the Bahamas Union of Teachers. Now, details of that story will come during the national report. A new team elected to head the Bahamas Public Services Union. Elections were held this past Friday, and Kingsley Ferguson and his workers team won in convincing fashion. Tonight, the newly elected area vice president for Grand Bahama is advising union members to unite in order to build that organization. Newly elected Vice President for the Northern Region of the BPSU, Tasha Bullitt Hamilton, says many members went to the polls and spoke loud and clear last Thursday, electing the workers' team to represent them over the next 3 years.
We are so grateful to God for the victory. Today, I'd like to extend my thanks and gratitude to those supporters who came out and exercised their democratic right to vote. The enthusiasm that we saw displayed on Election Day was quite impressive.
But she says based on the platforms of all the groups who ran in the past election, many of their concerns were much of the same.
All of the platforms felt that the agency shop is of vital importance to the growth of this organization. Everyone believed that the union needs restructuring, rebuilding, and my team believes wholeheartedly that the membership should feel the benefits of their organization.
Now she says it's time to get to work and address those concerns, adding that while a membership drive tops their agenda, so is building relationships among members.
It's unfortunate that elections bring out the very best in some persons, and it also has the ability to bring out the worst. We are extending the olive branch to those persons who opposed us, and we're saying we are one unit. You're welcome. This is your organization. So come forth and let us build it together.
In news from the crime beat, an attempted human smuggling operation interrupted by immigration officers this weekend. Early Saturday morning, officers acting on a tip along with police intercepted a private vessel in the Lucaya area with 6 persons on board, 3 Dominicans and 3 Brazilians, including 1 female. The group initially entered the Bahamas legally, but their status had since expired and they did not have proper visas to enter the United States and were taken into custody. Now, also, immigration on Saturday arrested 5 Haitian nationals, 4 men and 1 female, for violating the immigration laws. A Jamaican man was also taken into custody after it was determined that his legal status had expired. They were all taken to the detention center in New Providence to await repatriation. And switching gears now, students from a local primary school getting a lesson in parliamentary procedures in the upper chamber today as they welcomed a special guest. Sabrina Brown has the details.
President of the Senate, the Honorable K. Forbes Smith, visiting the Maurice Moore Primary School Monday morning at the special request of a 5-year-old first-grade student, British Sherry, whom she met while at a local business establishment.
This young girl saw me on TV and said, could I come to school? And then she seemingly said to me, could I come with my wig on? So she wanted to tell me what I should wear as well. So, I asked the clerk of the Senate, is it proper for me to come and bring the wig and the ceremonial gown to Freeport? He said, absolutely. But as Mrs. Ward said, this is curiosity, eh?
Senator Smith says she believes the visit was a great opportunity to educate the young people on her role as leader in the upper chamber.
My job is the chief presiding officer over the Senate business, and also I have some administrative responsibilities for the running of the Senate. So as the other senators would debate bills that come to the Senate, I do not make any contributions. I have been in the Senate before and have had the opportunity to make contributions to our debates, but as president, that is not my role.
The students were also allowed to ask questions about the parliamentary procedures in the Senate.
His question is, what do I do as a Senate? What we do in the Senate is, as you know, bills are passed in the House of Assembly. Those bills then come up to the Senate for further passage. And once they're signed, then they go to the Governor General for signature and they become the laws of the country.
Principal at Maurice Moore Primary, Tammy Elliott, says the visit by the Senate President was significant.
The students were well prepped. They asked some very interesting questions, and they are doing that now in their social studies, so they were able to ask some questions that interest them.
The visit by the President of the Senate came just days after the country celebrated 288 years of parliamentary democracy. She says she plans to visit schools around the country to educate young people about the role of the Senate. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Sabrina. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues in just a moment.